Peace, my family, and wild God to all those coming out at a good cocoon for the first time. Welcome. This your girl, the butterfly. We about to take off. Let's fly. Just want to send you all that good healing energy your way. Peace, love, happiness, harmony, and abundance. Hope you guys are out there keeping your mind right in that good, not mind. How y'all feeling? Hope you guys most definitely moving on up. That's right, in your higher nature, family, and most definitely cleansing. Because if you don't know, now you know. Oh yes, we must cleanse, family. Cleansing that lower nature, those lower frequency energies, family. It is so real out here in these last days and times. It's all about purifying your soul like no other. All right, now, first and foremost, in our prayers and think about it. Oh, Kalum, the all. Our praises to a new underscore final exalted. Glory and honor to DJ Joshua, Timmons, Horse, Ruth, Son and Death, the true Messiah, the appointed one. Alright? So I came out here today to express this is the great book of the living. This is the holy tablets, my family. It's right here. So I wake you on up and raise your consciousness levels up. Get the information that the Most High wanted you to know for yourself, for your growth, for your elevation. And it's real out here, and it's truly needed right now. So this is speaking on diet, and this is in chapter 7, the living soul. So what are you? What are you? A living soul, a living spirit. That's right, say it again. What are you? A living spirit, a living soul. I like to hear it. That's right. So I came in here today to read because it's needed. All right, so this is speaking on diet, and for your activation, awakening, experiences, metamorphosis, transformations, right? In order to do this, you must change your diet in the ways of the Most High, right? Because this is what's going to help you to activate those dormant powers inside of you. Like I said before, it's already inside of you. You just have to eat in a way that the Most High created you to eat, right? Fruits and vegetables, herbs, things that bring you life and not death, right? So with that being said, family, let's get to it. Let's find out, right? Y'all want to know? I do. Let's do it. So it reads, family. It says, "Lo, look, thou shalt ponder on taking proper diet for thyself, which ye can also learn through the teachings of the Buddhistic or the ancient Buddhistic order of Melchizedek, right? Improper diet is another hindrance to spiritual progress. Very important, because people don't realize it's all about what you put in your body. It's going to elevate you depending on what you're doing to yourself. So if you're putting in death, what you think is going to come out of it, things that are not good for you, right? You're putting that in, you're putting trash inside you, right? What you think going to come out? More germs, right? Illnesses, right? Diseases, right? Death, right? So if you continue to do that, what do you expect to happen with yourself, right? So the same thing happens with, what you put in your body. So if you are putting in life, right? Putting in live foods, right? Fruits and vegetables, things that is good for your body, right? We all know this, right? Fruits and vegetables are good for your body. Herbs for your meat. We were told this from the Most High, right? He told us how to eat. At its best, right? But again, my family, we were taught in this world so we can eat whenever we want, right? Like, eventually, it's not going to catch up to us. So, remember, my family, again, your choice to eat however you choose to eat. But for me, I'm going to eat the way the Most High told me to eat it, because I know that is the best. Consult your doctors, do what you need to do, because again, my family, that's all I'm here for. But remember, my family, who created you, right? So, I don't know about you, but I think it's wise to actually get the information that I need, the right knowledge that I need from the source who has created us, right? So, that's key. And nothing wrong with going to doctors, by the way. I'm just saying, nothing wrong with that. You can, if you want to get everybody. So, the expertise, right? But again, my family, we got to learn how to really check things out for ourselves when it comes to things. Go research things before you do things. And check out the right knowledge from the source, the Most High, and I was glorified and exalted. Because this is only the facts. Alright? And the only way you're going to know this is if you actually did your research. Alright, so with that being said, let's go on, right? This is very important. Because if you continue to do certain things, you can't elevate. You'll be on that same level. So you gotta remember, in order to make progress on the journey, it's a certain way you gotta move. It's a certain way you have to eat. You have to eat to live. Alright? So let's go on. Let's find out why, right? Or some may ask, why? Let's find out why. All foods have distinctive energies, okay? That's why. Just as the physical body is formed from the gross physical portions of the foods that are eaten, so the mind is formed from the more subtle portions. If the food is impure, right, then the mind also becomes impure. Cigarettes, liquor, and toxins, fast foods, narcotics, and too much meat are the most detrimental. In fact, meat at all. Meals should be simple, light, and nutritious. Seafood, my child, is healthy, however, not in excess. Most people eat far more than is necessary, right? Yeah, you know how we've been taught to eat 3 meals a day? Well, in the right knowledge, we find that we're actually supposed to eat 1 meal a day. It's easier on our body. It's supposed to be light and nutritious, right? And this helps the body, digest the food that's being eaten. So it's very important that we just be mindful of literally what we put in our bodies, because this is exactly, what we've been taught to eat, or for taste and for greed or for gluttony and things, but our body has a natural way of, processing food. So it's very important. All right, so let's go on. It says, merely out of habit or for a sense of gratification. And moderate diet is the cause of great majority of diseases, noted. Do some research, right? Which are encountered in modern society. The mind is always looking for an excuse to avoid discipline. Yeah, gently guide that in mind. You must always listen to the inner voice of the self. There's 2 sides to you. One is 180 degrees of agreeable, 180 degrees of disagreeable. 1% is all that is needed to shift your emotion. 1%. Not much. You gotta gently guard that mind, right? And our emotions, right? Ignore those things. It takes practice, though. Alright, let's go on. You are in control, whether you realize it or not. Spiritual practice is needed. Let's go on. Listen to the voice of agreeable things, right? Look at things. I like this. You know what I mean? The things that are good for you, right? Rather than the complaints of the disagreeable mind. Practice. We all have to practice that, okay? What goes into the human body correlates directly to the efficiently with which the brain functions. So, recent studies show that certain red food coloring creates hypertension, creates hyperactivity in children, and that refined sugar can cause emotional instability, and this is what most start their children on, right? These are just 2 examples of the substances that are heedlessly consumed without overstanding the effect on the body and the mind, each of which have two parts. The body is number one, voluntary, and number two, involuntary. That which you control and that which takes control of itself. The mind has one, good, two, evil, which also try to take control. Many intakes are bad, although not characterized as harmful foods. These substances should be strictly avoided, and they are. Marijuana, cigarettes, alcohol, drugs. There is a growing awareness that our health is directly affected by what we eat. Almost any disease can be cured by either a change in diet or a short period of fasting, and with no medication at all. Now, I know this to be true for myself, so this is it right here. Let's go on without no medication at all. Okay? I did this. It's true. Alright, this is not only true of physical disorders, but many mental difficulties as well. It is particularly important that pregnant mothers have this awareness, right? For too often they do not realize the effect of diet on the developing fetus. Okay? Contrary to the popular concept, it is not the vegetarians who don't get enough protein. You hear this a lot. I heard this a lot on my spiritual journey every time. They say, where do you get your protein? Where do you get your protein? You know? Just saying. Vegetables are protein, family. Herbs are protein, family. And I used to get vegetable protein too. You know what I mean? Alright. So let's go on. Now it says, but rather heavy meat eaters who take in excess of protein, right? So contrary to the popular concept, it is not vegetarians who do not get enough protein. Animal protein, or getting not enough protein, and goes on to say, but rather heavy meat eaters who take in excess of protein, okay? Animal protein contains a high concentration of uric acid, which is a nitrogen compound similar to ammonia, and it is not water soluble, and it cannot be broken down by the liver. You know what I mean? Thus, through a certain amount is eliminated, though a certain amount is eliminated, the greatest portion of uric acid is deposited into the joints, and the results of this is referred to as arthritis. Hardening of the arteries and heart disease are the two most common maladies in the Western world, where the greatest amount of meat is consumed. The culprit, my child, is cholesterol, which also cannot be eliminated from the body. This forms fatty deposits along the walls of the heart and the arteries, and this is gradually gets a thickening until they are clogged and inflexible. And the major source of cholesterol comes from the hundreds of pounds of animal tissue and its fats that each person consumes each year. Heart disease hardens of the arteries, and arthritis is a common informant. And however, the one that strikes the most fear in the hearts of the Westerns is cancer. Many substances have been found to create cancer in animals. However, results always seem to indicate that the amounts consumed by the average person is insufficient to create cancer. What is not revealed is that the accumulation, family, of these poisons over a period of years that create cancer. These substances have innumerable chemicals that are injected into animals. These increase weight to yield more dollars per, animal. Nitrites, food colorants, artificial hormones, and even arsenic are amongst the chemicals contained in animal flesh. By the time it goes to the supermarket shelf, there's plus the many other additives consumed by members of the industrial society collect in the body. And they are stored in the tissues. Okay? Cancer occurs when the cells react to the excessive toxins, in a sense, mutating into cells which reproduce uncontrollably. So much of the horrors of the meat industry, right? These are several other interesting physical and spiritual reasons for not eating meat. One is that it takes far more times as much grain to feed animals than for the enocyte to consume it directly. Okay? This raises a moral question in regard to sharing our resources with poor people. Plants are the original source of energy for all living things. Noted. As they store the energy of shamans of the sun through photosynthesis. A person who does not eat a lot of meat not only takes nourishment from the original source, right? Very important. But their diet is more economical with regards to cost, and it's the best utilization of available land. So seafood is very good, my child, but that too can be taken in access. Another more interesting fact is that an enocyte digestive system, this is important, enocyte's digestive system is not one of a carnivore, right? Amphibians, not of a carnivore, okay? His or her teeth are designed through mutation for biting and mashing original vegetables. But after so much mixing, now many Nubians have canine teeth for tearing flesh, which is why the enocyte ages, tenderizes, and cooks his or her meat to make it more eatable, right? So diet also alters the person's very appearance, right? From human to animal, as well as his or her nature, right? Meat eaters are far more violent. The human liver is proportionally smaller than that of meat-eating animals, and it is not built to handle the filters of an animal poisons. Also, the alimentary canal, which is short and carnivorous animals, speeds poisons to the body quickly, and it is quite long in an enocyte, as it is in any vegetarian animal. Note, right, the untruth that you need meat, right, or that you will lose weight if you don't eat meat. Herbivores, family, herbivores are much larger than the carnivores animal. So, think on that, right? Do some research, right? Check it out for yourself. In the words of my master teacher, he's here to let you know all the facts for yourself, and then it's on you, to do your due diligence, to research for yourself, so you begin to know for yourself certain things that you may have not known, right? Or some that you already know. You know what I mean? So with that being said, family, that is the end of this tablet. So I'm going to leave it at that for now. Again, my family, I want y'all all to know that you are loved so much beyond this world and in it. Begin to spread that love, family, one to another. Be that peace that you seek. Release our master teacher, Dr. Malachi C. Oh, that's right. Peace, shalom, hashud, divine love, family. And what I do, because it truly is,